It's not a game, it's a rich thing.
All right. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Fantasy Bros podcast. I'm here with my brother Justin, as always. And this week we're talking tough fantasy football decisions and making that push into the playoffs. Whether you're on the cusp of making the playoffs and you need one or two more wins, or you know you're going to make the playoffs and you want some solid matchups for week 15 and 16. We've got some good information for you. How are things, Justin?
They're doing very, very well. Dead sexy. I'm still alive. Still doing what I got to do.
Yeah, it looks like you're still growing your beard out.
Yeah, I look like a big fat pussy right now. Gonna have to trim her up here or there. The mustache is going into my mouth, and I'm gonna throw up. But you know, life is good.
Yeah.
I
it could be worse, right? Could be worse. All right. So I've got something here. I'm gonna lean more towards like making the playoffs, making the push to the playoffs, and once you're in there, what to do, matchups that are ideal once you're actually in the playoffs.
Yeah.
One of the big things, especially like matchup-based things, is, I mean, as you know, you're a big fan of streaming defenses. I think a really good defense to stream in week 15 and 16, take it easy. And I think you're going to like this because the Cleveland Browns, have a very good week 15 and week 16 matchup. Yeah.
Do they? No,
they do. They all.
A few weeks ago, I was talking about the Cleveland Browns. Oh, you think the Cleveland Browns are a good team? Yeah, I do. And it was warranted. Now look at them. One of the best defenses.
I don't know if I'd go as far to say they're a good team. They're solid. I'd say they're maybe a little above par, but they're not. I wouldn't say they're a good team.
One
they're
of the better
okay.
defenses in the league, and they have a winning record. Yeah, they're with Baltimore and Pittsburgh, but they're gonna be a wild card, guaranteed.
Right.
Wild card.
Now especially since they added a wild card team, they are already number 8 ranked in fantasy, and they got the Giants and the Jets week 15 and 16. I think it's a no-brainer. Unless you're sitting on an elite defense with an okay matchup that has carried you this far, man, I would stream the Browns week 15 and 16 if they make the playoffs.
I agree. I said it weeks ago, and now you're saying it now. You're a little behind the times. You know, you're an idiot. So
you said to stream them during the fantasy playoffs?
I said pick up the Cleveland Brown defense weeks ago.
Oh, I know that. I know that. I mean, I believe you, but I'm just saying for the playoffs.
Oh, you're still an idiot. Oh, yeah, they were good back then, and they're still good now, and they will be good in the future.
But they got, like, really good matchups for week 15 and 16. The Jets and the Giants. Plug them in and leave them if you make the playoffs. All right. You got something for me?
I also have a defensive situation here. I got the New York Giant D against Cincinnati, or the Washington defense against Dallas. What do you do?
Listen. Under normal circumstances, I'd go with the Cowboys game. It was Cowboys in Washington.
Yes, sir.
I would go with Washington under normal circumstances. But since Joe Burrow is out and they've got a backup in, I think I like that one a little bit more. I think he's going to be making mistakes. You know how it goes. The odds are in the favor of the defense in that game.
Yes, I agree. They're both good matchups, but I think you definitely have to. I mean, especially if you're already like good season, on pace to make the playoffs no matter what. Throw it in the mix. Pick up the New York Giants defense, even though they're slightly above average defense. But yeah, definitely New York against Cincy with no Joe Burrow, no Joe Mixon. The Joes are all gone. What are you going to do?
Right. I think the Giants and Washington are top 10 defenses in fantasy, aren't they?
Yes.
They're both right in there.
And Dallas is horrendous. I mean, that's pretty much no matter what defense you start.
It's almost a coin flip. It's almost a coin flip, but like I said, because of the quarterback situation, if Andy Dalton is back, I think I'm going with the Cincinnati game. I think I'm going with the Giants against Cincinnati.
I would concur.
And that is for week 12 for anybody who wants to know, that's not something that's happened later in the season. He's talking this week in fantasy football. So if you're making a playoff push, if you're one of those teams that you have 5 or 6 wins and you need to win out or at least win 2, that could be the difference between a 8-win season and a 7-win season. So
game changer.
Yep. All right. I'm going to move on to a quarterback who I've never really liked. I've always kind of called him the poor man's Brett Favre because Brett Favre threw a lot of interceptions, but he made up for it. Carson Wentz is kind of that guy, but Carson Wentz is nowhere near as good. He doesn't throw near as many touchdowns as Brett Favre did, but he has proven to be effective in good matchups, and he's got a good Week 15 and Week 16. He plays Dallas in Week 15, and then Arizona, which, believe it or not, is the 8th best defense to play if you're a quarterback in the NFL for fantasy. So it's 2 pretty good matchups. If you're one of those guys that's been suffering at quarterback, you've been streaming, you've got injuries, you lost your quarterback early on, Carson Wentz could be the guy to save you. If you know you're probably going to make the playoffs and you're looking for a quarterback that has a high ceiling, maybe not the best floor in Carson Wentz, but he could go off. He's done it before and he can do it again, especially with good matchups. What do you think about that, Justin?
I think you're an idiot and you're a piece of shit and you're going to die and burn in hell.
We're all going to die.
Yeah. Yeah, I like it. I think it's a good call. You got to do what you got to do later in the season, and if you're in a good situation, you're going to make the playoffs. It's another good time to just fool around a little bit, maybe try and rack up some points. Maybe you're trying to get the top dog in the regular season and win some money. I don't know what your situation is. Just do the right thing and don't be stupid.
Like, for instance, like say you're Austin. Austin looks like he's going to get the 3 seed. He's kind of fumbling back and forth.
Assuming I lose, if he loses this week and I win this week, I'm going to have to get him back again.
But like just for sake of argument, let's say he pulls it off, gets his 8 wins. You don't quite get there. You don't win the division. He's the 3 seed, and he's kind of fumbling back and forth between Cam Newton and Drew Brees, and he hasn't really been able to figure out which one he's going to start. And now Drew Brees is out for who knows how long, and Cam Newton has been hit or miss. And maybe he wants to take a shot at Carson Wentz in the playoffs with the good matchups. He would be like a guy in our league that might want to do that.
I could see that. I could see that happening. I'm going to do everything in my power to make sure I win this week and make sure he loses. There's a good reason I called you and asked you what Bill's number was. Because I need Bill to win. I need Bill to beat Austin, and I need to win, and I need to get back a half game back.
So wait, hold on. So you're going to call him and give him advice to give him a better chance of winning?
I think so.
Well, we're talking about a guy that has more championships in the league that we play, in the Showdown, the Saginaw Showdown, than anybody else. I think he would know what to do, but he's not having a good season, so maybe this year he needs advice.
I'm looking at his lineup here, and I'm just looking. I'm like, all right, he's kind of waiting to see who's going to play and who's not going to play. All right, but he better not leave it this way, because
he won't. He won't. He never does.
He'll make me, I know, but I couldn't leave it alone. I had to call him and say, hey.
You called him?
Set damn lineup, you asshole.
So he called some guy in our league to make sure he sets his lineup so he wins because he needs the person he's playing to lose.
Yeah.
That is dedication, and that's how you win fantasy football championships. Yep. Anywho, moving on. Did you have something for me? Or is it my turn?
It's my turn, you idiot. Pay attention, stupid.
All right, what do you got?
Big one. This actually kind of affects me because I have these guys in multiple leagues, and for sure in one league I'm on the fence. Tough call for me. Travis Fulgham versus Seattle, or Amari Cooper versus Washington. Who do you start in your flex? It's kind of my flex guy. Who do I do?
I have some fond memories of Amari Cooper when I owned him, and I have some really shitty ones too. He's so boom or bust, it seems like. And if Dak was there, it'd be a different story. You said Fulgham has a better matchup, like the best matchup?
He has a much better. Here's the thing. Amari Cooper playing the Washington defense, which just happens to be the number 1 defense against the pass game. number one.
Mm-hmm.
And Travis Fulgham just happens to be playing Seattle Seahawks, who are the absolute worst against the pass game. So it's just like, and any other week, I would probably be like, well, you got to start Cooper. But right now, it's just like, matchup-wise, it's the hardest decision you could ever make because it's polar opposites.
Right.
What do you do?
I think so. You're leaning towards Fulgham.
I am, because he even though he's got some healthy teammates coming back, and he's still getting 5 or 6 targets a game in weaker matchups. I can't imagine he doesn't get 10 targets this game against, like I said, the worst pass.
I've been kind of fading Fulgham lately just because some of those other receivers are coming back, and I think that might be why he's not getting – I mean, that team just sucks right now too, let's face it. But I think I have to agree with you on this one. I think I'm – and it's by this much. But I think I'm going to have to go with Fulgham. I think I'm going to have to agree with you.
I think so too.
He's due for a good game.
Really bad weeks in a row. There's no way Fulgham, a healthy, young stud like Fulgham, who dominated for a while, is not going to get more looks in playing the worst pass offense in the league. I just can't imagine he doesn't get 10 targets and 5-6 receptions. Cannot happen. No way. Amari Cooper's on my bench right now, and I'm keeping it that way.
Right. All right. So, I mean, I think we're in agreement. If you have that decision to make and you're desperate to get one more win to make the playoffs, you got to make that push. That's a tough decision, man. Honestly, it's almost a coin flip, but I think I'm going to have to agree with you and go with Fulgham. All right.
Which is crazy because most people think Amari Cooper. It's like something like 85% of people saying Amari Cooper.
See, and I have that gut feeling about it too, just because like it's Amari Cooper. It's Amari Cooper. It's like it's hard not to pick him just because of his name and his talent. But like you said, the absolute worst. I mean, all it would really take is like one crazy touchdown, and we're wrong. You know, either way. But I think with the volume, you could be right. I think he might see a little bit more volume. He's got a good matchup, so I'm giving him the selection just because I think just because of the matchup. But like I said, it's super close. So
he's still getting targets in every game, even though he's not connecting in every pass.
Okay, yeah.
Fulgham's still getting those targets. It doesn't. I mean, 2 bad weeks in a row, and actually, coincidentally, it's 8 yards 2 weeks in a row, which is weird for a wide receiver to have. 8 yards 2 games in a row. That's weird.
On one reception? On one reception for both of them?
That I don't. I guess 1 reception.
I mean, it makes a difference. It makes a difference if you're in a PPR league.
5 targets for 1.
Right. It makes a difference if you're in a PPR league. But all right.
I mean, yeah.
I've got one more guy here, and it's a tight end. I've been having some tight end struggles this year, and I think a lot of us have because after those top 2 or 3 guys, your Kelce's and your Wallers, there's a huge drop-off, and I've had so many struggles with Hayden Hurst put up a big 0 for me last week. And I put him in over Noah Fant. Noah Fant didn't go crazy by any means. In our league, he put up like 5 or 6 points. It still wouldn't have been enough for me to win last week. But it was tough. Hurst just had a very good matchup, and he just put up a big 0. So, for those of you who need a tight end, are trying to make a push into the playoffs, or you know you're going to make it, and you want a solid guy who can get you a win in week 15 and 16, I think Jordan Reed is your guy. As long as George Kittle is out and Jordan Reed can stay healthy,
yes,
he is going to be a top target. He'll be at least the number 2 guy on that team, week in and week out. Like I said, as long as he can stay healthy, I think you should go out and grab him. He should have volume. He should be getting 5 to 8 targets a week. No problem. They just have a lack of weapons, and he just can't stay healthy. That's his main thing. He's very talented. He's a good tight end.
Yes. I mean, I don't like it. I love it.
You love
Jordan Reed is a stud, and like you said, stays healthy. He's going to get the targets. He's like the volume. He's going to get receptions, and I think he's a perfect option for someone in that situation.
Like for you though, like you have Andrews, and he's on the cusp of being one of those top guys, so you're not really worried about it. But for guys like me, like why not take a stab at him? Because Hayden Hurst and Noah Fant just haven't panned out. Noah Fant they're both kind of right neck and neck, and one will score 6 points one week and then 2 the next, and then maybe they get lucky and get a touchdown and get 10 points. But it's just not happening for a lot of those fringe guys. Higbee and Hawkinson and Hurst and all those guys are frustrating a lot of owners across the league.
It's a slot fest. There's no doubt.
Right. All right. I mean, that kind of covers it for me for this week. You have anything to add, or?
I do. Okay. If you only can start one guy, have to make a choice right now, David Montgomery or Duke Johnson. Who do you start? Now, keep in mind, David Montgomery has a cakewalk schedule coming up for the rest of the season.
Who's he play this week?
This week he plays Green Bay, which is not great against the rush game.
Okay.
By any means. And then Duke Johnson is playing Detroit, which is just like, oh my God, it's Detroit. I mean, I have to start that running back. No, David Johnson. Starting running back against Detroit. Let's do it.
David Johnson is out another week, right?
Yes.
What's going on with him? How long is he going to be out?
I don't know what the hell is going on with him. Last I looked, he was still IR, I think.
Okay.
So, I mean, that was earlier this morning.
Oh, my God. That's a tough one.
Duke Johnson versus Detroit or David Montgomery versus Green Bay. Tough call. I think I know what I'm doing.
All right. I as much as I hate to say this, I think I'm going with Duke Johnson. I think he will factor into the pass game more. Deshaun looks good. Watson looks good, right? He's passing the ball.
He looks very good. He's up there.
I think Duke Johnson is going to catch a few passes, and I think that's going to be the difference maker. Now, Montgomery,
he'll have more rush yards.
He's kind of
have more rush yards.
Yeah.
It's going to be dependent on touchdown. Like if David Montgomery gets a touchdown in the first quarter, then it's a different story. But like he's going to get the touches.
Montgomery will probably get the volume, but I think Duke will make up for it in the pass game. He's going to get a few passes, maybe one for a touchdown. I don't know why my gut is telling me Duke on this one, and I have a history with Montgomery, and he left a pretty bitter taste in my mouth last season. So I'm going with Duke Johnson on this one. Do you don't agree, or?
No, I mean I don't hate. I mean it's kind of a. I mean that's why I'm asking the question. What do you do? I mean it's kind of.
Do you have them both?
Almost awesome.
Do you have them both?
What's that?
Do you have them both?
I have them both in one league. Yeah.
Not in our league though, right?
Not in this league, no. Not in Saginaw Showdown, no. But I think I'm going to go with David Montgomery. And it's a tough call for me, but I feel like in that league, I'm in a better situation to play the safer guy. The guy who's going to get the volume, the guy who's got a good matchup. And like you said, like the pass game, okay. Depends on how the game pans out. I think I'm edging towards David Montgomery.
So here, let me ask you this. Let me ask you this. Joe Mixon is playing. Sanders is playing. You've got your RB1 and your RB2. You're sitting on David Montgomery and Duke Johnson. Who are you putting in your flex?
David Montgomery, I invested more in him. If he's healthy, I invested more in him than I invested in. I mean, he was like my 5th round pick, I think. And I don't think anyone was getting Duke Johnson until like the 9th or 10th round at the earliest. I'd be more invested in Montgomery at that point, and I would almost be forced to start Montgomery, especially with the favorable matchup and the investment I had in him already. Montgomery.
Okay. See, I think it's another one of those kind of coin toss situations. I'm giving Duke Johnson the better matchup, and I think he'll be factored in the pass game more. Better quarterback play, I think ultimately the game script will just be better for Duke. So I'm going to give it to him, but it's close.
It's close, yes.
All right, cool. That's a good one. All right, I guess that does it for me. You good then?
Did we talk about McLaurin and Parker already?
No, we didn't. You did have something to add?
We should talk about McLaurin versus Dallas or Devontae Parker versus
McLaurin every single time. I don't care. I don't care who they're playing. McLaurin, 100%. He's way more talented. He's quarterback proof. He can do the intermediate stuff, but he's also got that big play potential all the time. I have him. I invested into him. He's looked good for me. McLaurin, 100%.
Yeah, I would 100%. Agree. There's no argument there.
Okay. All right. Well, I guess that does it. Thanks again for watching, guys. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe, and we'll see you guys next week.
You're a sack of shit.
Greetings, fans and friends. Uncle G here with this week's kicker report. Interesting week, Thanksgiving week. We got a few games that already took place that we will talk about. Last week, though, we had a kind of a pedestrian week. We picked 5 out of top 11 kickers. We did manage to have 2, 3, and 4 kickers, and 9 and 10 tied. Our worst pick turned out to be Arizona Cardinals at number 24. And that game was one of our prop bet games too that we lost on. But man, it was just a Arizona Seattle quarterback duel. Defense really showed up in that game. It was a lot of long drives, 10-yard line, 15-yard line, and drive. Sure seemed like a lot of defense in that game for all the points they ended up scoring. Same thing in that case, Kansas City, Las Vegas game. But that's props. We did go 0 for 3 last week in props, and we'll talk more about that in the prop report probably on Saturday or Sunday. This week, we're looking to at least do as well or better. We were 6 out of 11 2 weeks ago, 5 out of 11 last week. This week, by the numbers, we like Daniel Carlson, Las Vegas Raiders, number 1. Tyler Bass for Buffalo Bills at 2. Jason Myers, Seattle Seahawks at 3. Butker for Kansas City at 4. Ka'imi Fairbairn, Houston Texans, who already played, put up some decent numbers. Jason Sanders for Miami. Mason Crosby at Green Bay, number 7. Miami was 6. And then, honestly, the 8, 9, 10 kickers came in real close on the numbers, but number 8 is the Colts, Rodrigo Blankenship. 9, Browns, Cody Parkey. 10, either Forbath or Matt Gay, whoever actually kicks. 11 and 12 actually came in exactly tied. So Josh Lambo for Jacksonville and Graham Gano, New York Giants. We actually went 12 this week. Everybody's playing, so there's 32 kickers, and we'll pick 12 of them. So good luck and high scores, and may your ash ever be long. See you next week.